Hi everyone, and welcome back to Monday Night Stamping. This is a place where we come together to chat, to connect, to create, and to unlock some paper crafting fun together. It's lots of fun, and I'm so glad you're here. My name is Lillian. I'm with Stampers Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. Last week, forgot today's date is September the 23rd, 2024. So I wasn't with you last week. We were in Vernon. Harry's sister had hip replacement surgery, and we were there looking after her. So we just got back Sunday evening, and it's great to be back in my craft room. And on the way back, we drove through the Rockies, and the trees were spectacular. Driving there, they were predominantly just green, but driving back, they were lots of golds and almost copper colors, and it was just a beautiful drive back through the mountains. So that was what we've been doing lately. But it's good to be back in my craft room and spending time with you. So as I go to my desktop, as you're saying hello to each other, and even if you're watching the replay, remember we love to know where you're from, or just the fact that you're here. Just say hi. You don't have to give us a long chat, just hi. But you can also share what you enjoy about the fall months. What's something you like about the fall months? Let us know that in the comments, or just say hello. That is all good too. Good to see some of you saying hi there. Alrighty. Now, I have some paper here, and you might say, well, that's just basic cardstock, Lillian. No, it isn't. Stampin' Up! Is introducing a whole new line. It's not replacing, it's in addition to our cardstock. And this new cardstock, this is just a few different colors, is two-toned, and it is also got a white core. So let me just talk about the two-tone for a minute. On one side, you have a darker tone. This color happens to be Poppy Parade, but if you go like that, there it is a shade lighter. Still Poppy Parade, but a shade lighter. And you see the same thing here with Pool Party. It is Pool Party, but here, whoops, it is a shade lighter, and so on. So it comes 12 by 12. And I've just cut it down so that we can see it in a more manageable size. So in the package that I've got here, it is called the Snow Day Two-Toned Cardstock. So in the package, that all 12 by 12, and these colors would be there. So there's Poppy Parade, Petal Pink, Garden Green, Early Espresso, and Pool Party. And the other thing to take note of is that these two and these two, there are two 12 by 12 sheets of each. But this one here, there's actually 4 instead of 2. And that is so that if you are making cards and want to use maybe this color as a card base, you've got lots to work with. Or if you're scrapbooking and want to use this as your stronger color, or your predominant color, pardon me, you've got more to work with. So you have options. The other thing is this has a white core, and I don't know if you can see, maybe not. We're going to see it in a little bit, but if you were handling it, you can see that there is white right there in between the two layers of color. Our regular cardstock, we don't have that. It is dyed all the way through. So that's one of the differences. So it's two-toned, it has a white core. The other thing is it's a little bit thinner than our regular cardstock. This is when you're adding layers, it's not going to add quite so much bulk. It's also a little bit thicker than designer paper, so it's that in-between size, and I find it really easy to work with. So I can hear some of you saying, well, where do we see this? I didn't see that in the catalog. It's not in the catalog. Stampin' Up! Has just released a whole new line of what they call the scrapbooking brochure. And as you know, things in scrapbooking and card making, they interchange all the time. So it's only online. So let me just bring up, just got to get this situated here. Bring up my website here. So if you go to my website, you might see some things scrolling through here and you'll find it there. But for me, the quickest way is to find the 3 lines. So whether you're on your phone, your computer, your iPad, look for those 3 lines and click on them and then look down, and there's a heading that says what's new. So this is new. So let's click on what's new. And now there's some different choices. New arrivals, World Card Making Day, and down here, the scrapbook, September scrapbooking brochure. So let's click on that. And you see the different products that are found in that. So you see designer series paper. You see some more two-tone. So you can tell it's two-tone by the corners folded down like that. So you see some kits. You see some brand new white paper. It's called White Willow. It's a little crisper white than ours, than basic white. And you're going to also see stamp sets that go with some of these. But you might be saying, well, I need to know more before I buy. So here is Snow Day. This is the one that I purchased. So what I did was I clicked on it, and then it comes up, and as I scroll down, it gives me some product detail here. And then it has a button, Show More. So I'm clicking on Show More, and it tells me even more. How many sheets of each, what colors, and lots of more information. So that is where you find it. So you go to my online store and click on those 3 lines, and that's where you'll find some of these products here. So let's just put that aside and move that out of the way. And so that, if you were looking at the brochure online, that it would look like this. And hello, I see people joining. And just as soon as you go inside the brochure, they have a package here, and then they give you a little bit of information about the two-tone. Sorry, I just have to, my computer went to sleep on me, and I don't want that. So there we go. So they give a bit more information about it. It comes in 12 by 12. It's great for both card making and scrapbooking. 2-sided with complementary shades of the same color. Has a white core, and we're going to see more about that in a minute. And it's easy to use with your favorite stamps. And then it also welcomes the new white. So just a bit of information there. So let's move this aside. And these were the colors in our regular cardstock. These are the colors that I chose. Now, there are lots more available, and by May of 2025, they will have the two-tone cardstock in all of our colors. So you will have our regular cardstock, and we'll have the two-tone. But let's make something with it. If you're like me, that kind of works to the best. Then I can tell what it's all about way better. So I'm going to start, and we're going to be using, whoops, I put it aside. We're going to be using the Garden Green from it. Now this card that I'm making, you could use whatever you wanted, but I just wanted to do a fall type of theme. So we want a piece of cardstock, and this is very vanilla, and we want it 7 by 8.5. So we know it's 8.5 across here. So I'm just going to measure this at 7 like that and cut, and I'm keeping this for a minute. Then with the 7-inch side still at the top, we're going to put it at 3.5, which is half of 7, and we're going to score. So make sure I've got my cutting tool out of the way, and we're going to score like that. So we've got that there. And then we're going to bring this piece that we cut off in, and we're going to cut it at 3 inches. by 8 inches. This is going to be actually the liner, but we might as well cut it right now, and then we're all set to go. So we've got that, so it's 3 by 8. And then we're going to bring in the garden green two-tone, and we're going to cut this at 3.5 by 6. This is already, I cut it down to 6, so I just need to cut it at 3.5. Put this to the side for another project. And with the 3.5 at the top, we're going to score it at 2.5. Like that. Then we're going to bring that piece that we just cut off, and we want to keep it at 6 inches, but we're going to cut 1 inch off of it. And I love our paper trimmer because we can measure either way, and I'm going to go this way this time because it just is handy. So this is 1 by 6 inches. So we'll put this away. And we're going to fold on the score line here. So this is the card base. It's 8.5 by 3.5. And this, I forgot to bring an envelope in. This will fit in a regular legal size envelope. I think it's called A10 or whatever. But so there we've got that folded. You can also make your own envelopes, and I have videos showing that as well. So now then I'm going to fold this. Now here comes our first decision. Do I want the dark on the outside and the light on the inside, or do I want the light on the outside and the dark on the inside? So put light or put dark outside. Let's just do the outside. Which do you want? Do you want light or dark on the outside? So put light or dark, if whatever one you say, I know that's what you want on the outside. Which one? We are going to put autumn leaves here. Light on the outside. Okie dokie. We have light on the outside. There we go. So this is going to go like that. All right. Now, before we do anything, we are going to emboss this. And then I'm going to show you one of the things you can do with the white core. Why one of the reasons white core is so neat. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to bring in the Changing Leaves hybrid embossing folder. And whoops, sorry about that. Let's move this out of the way. I want to just emboss up to the fold. If I go beyond, it's not a big deal, but I want to go just to the fold. There we go, sort of like that. Line this up. And it's just going to fit in here. So I want to be careful as I put it in. There we go. Put the specialty plate on top because it's a 3D embossing folder, and run it through. Just don't want to hit the camera here, so I'm being a little bit careful. So now we have embossed it, and already you're starting to see little hints of white poke through because those fibers are breaking down. Now you can bring in a piece of sandpaper, some fine sandpaper, or you can bring in like an emery board or something from your nails, something like that. And we're just going to lightly run it over, and you can see how it's taking the color off the top, and we've got white showing through. Can't you just see this with snowflakes? and a few other things. I'm going to be a little bit gentle because I don't want tons for this particular project. You can rough it up as much as you want or as little as you want, or you don't need to do it at all. But it's just one of the techniques and one of the neat things about having the white core. What do you think of that? Who likes that? And I'm going to, now I've got sawdust on here, I better get that off. So we've got that done. So the other thing that that is really neat about white core cardstock is that when you tear it, you get a white edge. So we're using the light side here. So I have got this little strip and I'm going to put it here, but I'm going to tear it first. And when I tear it, I'm going to pull it towards me, and that's how I'm getting the white like that. So just, and I like it to be a little bit more interesting. If you don't like how it tears, you can always take a bit more off. That looks pretty good. I might take a bit. Well, it's good. Now, this is the look you get when you tear it towards you. If I had torn it away from me, I wouldn't have that white edge. And my goal was to have that white edge. So what we're going to do is fasten that to here. So we've added a little bit of interest. We've got the two tones. We've got the white core happening there. And I just need to bring in some adhesive. Like that. Put this on my silicone mat in case it oozes. Now, this paper was waiting for me when I got home last night. I had the idea in my head, but I didn't know if the paper had arrived yet or not. So you are seeing my very first play with it. So we've got it looking like that. Now, what my plan is I want to put it here. And I'm going to put decorative things here, but this maybe looks a little bit plain. So we're going to stop and decorate that a bit before we go any further. So I'll get some of this stuff out of the way, and I'm going to bring in a block. I'm just going to splatter is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use Cajun Craze because that is such a nice fall color. How many of you find you don't use Cajun Craze a whole lot? Or how many of you use it a lot? That's a good question. So now I'm bringing in my water painters. So you get 3 different sizes. You can see I've been using this one with Cajun Craze already. So I've got this. I'm going to, it says push here. I'm going to make a little puddle of water. I didn't totally clean it after the last one. And I'm going to make this fairly juicy. Let's just see here. And I'm just going to tap. You maybe can't see it a whole lot. I can't. Oh, there. That time you could see it. And that looks pretty good to me. So we've added just a little bit of interest in the back. So to clean this, what I would do is press this and run some more water through. I've got actually some color in the barrel, so I'll just run it under the tap. But you can clean it beautifully like that. And I'm going to bring this in and clean that off so I don't get something in that. And we'll move that to the side. So we've got some splattering happening there. Now we can fasten this, and we're going to go like that. So yes, I'm making a slimline card. I haven't made one for a while, and I like them so much. I thought, oh yeah, I want to make a slimline card with this. And I wanted to show how you can use 6x6 paper with a slimline card. This is one way. So this is going to be a funfold slimline card, and it's going to open like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest it so it's overhanging here. I'm going to put adhesive here. And then I will close it. So I've figured out where I wanted it to be. How many of you have made a slimline card recently? Or
you're thinking, oh, maybe I should do that again. I haven't done it before. No, just want to double check. Have I got this where I want it to be? Yeah, that looks good. So I've got it slid in all the way. Get my fingers out of the glue. Now I'm just going to close it. And we've gone like that. Why didn't I just glue it here? Because there actually needs to be a little bit of give here. So if I do it the way I did it, it's going to close nicely and not cause any problems. A lot of your Christmas cards are slimline, Irene. Oh, I hope you're going to share pictures at some point. I'd love to see them. All right, so we've got this. Now we're going to bring in the Changing Leaves bundle. I've used this before. It's been so popular, been in and out of stock, I don't know how many times. But we're going to use this to go with the fall, the whole fall thing, right? So we have, where do we go here? We have these dies, and I love these dies. So there are so many of them, they have to put on 2 sheets. So we're going to use that. We're going to use some of these little ones, and we're also using this. So some of you have maybe not noticed or seen when I have done the hybrid embossing folder before. So I just wanted to show you how you can do it. And all I want this time around is this one. If I wanted all 3, I'd have a piece of paper that covered all 3. But I only want this one here. So I'm going to figure out, so I'm not going to waste any extra paper. I'm going to just go like that because copper paper is precious, right? And there we go. Is it going to, did I get a little too carried away? There we go. No, it's going to work. So I will bring in, where did I put it now? Bring in the embossing folder, and if you open it up, and on the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo, what you're going to do is put the die in here, and it slides around until you find the right spot, and then it won't slide. So there, you've got it in the right spot. And I just want this leaf here. So I'm going to make sure that that is covered. There we go. And now I will close it up and hold it together. It doesn't matter which way is which when you run it through your embossing machine. So let's bring that in. And because, again, you're using the 3D embossing folder, you still are going to use your specialty plate, and it's like magic. I remember how scared I was the first time I used one of the hybrid embossing folders. I thought it's going to cut the embossing folder. I was so afraid of that, but it doesn't. It cuts and embosses at the same time. It's just like magic. So let's take these apart here, and there we have it. Look at the detail on there. Isn't that gorgeous? So this paper is from the Textured Metallics. It's in the annual catalog or online, whichever you want to do. So we've got this, and then I cut out some other pieces too. So here I'm thinking this is in Cajun Craze. So I kind of was thinking I would arrange some leaves here like that. And then I thought, well, they need a little bit of some contrast in here. Of course, I've got them all smushed together. Just a second. All these little detailed pieces. So should I use crushed curry as the accent, or should I use wild wheat? Crushed curry or wild wheat? Like, you can leave that comment as I'm getting organized here. So I'm going to stamp the greeting onto here. So crushed curry or wild wheat. Crushed curry. I see some hearts. Yay, yay, yay. Crushed curry or wild wheat. Curry. Okay, we'll go with curry. And we're going to bring this in, and we're going to use the words, "You are amazing," in every single way. And that way you can say you're thankful for them or whatever. Now, when I'm using photopolymer stamps, photopolymer means they're clear. They can bend very easily. So I always put them down and then pick them up with my block, and then they retain their shape. And I think I am going to do that in garden green and pick up the colors here that we have. And let's do it right way up. And I'm thinking I'm going to cut the end off. So I'm going to keep my words over this way, like that. There we go. We've got it done. So we'll do that up. I see some of you just jumping on. Yay, we're so glad you're here. Thank you. So this is going to go here. So right now I'm just planning, okay? So that's going to go there. I've got maybe like that and like that. Now what I did here is I sponged a little bit around the edges, and I really like that. So I want to do that with these before we do anything else. So I'm going to sponge around these ones and this, and normally I could just do it on my glass mat, but I don't want to stop and clean. So I'm going to just put that there. We've got Cajun Craze. Now you can use a blending brush or a sponge dauber. I'm just going to go like that. Now Cajun Craze, it's looking a bit dark, but I'm happy with that. So it's tone on tone. It's the same color. So we've got that there. We'll put that away. And then we're going to bring in the crushed curry. I just read someone said fall colors are your favorite. Oh, Alabama. Yeah, I bet it isn't too fallish there yet right now. We are having a late fall here. We've got nice big pumpkins in the garden and our flowers are still blooming. So we just enjoy every day right now because we know it's not going to last. Now, when something is this detailed, I often just leave it on my paper and go like that. So the leaves that are changing, we don't get many reds here. We get predominantly golds and oranges, but they do have the different tones. So there, we've added that. And now let's stick some of this down. So I'm going to start with this. And I'm not going to go right to the ends because I want them to be free. I better make sure I've got my plan going here. There we go, like that. And again, I'm not going to be too crazy with the glue. I'm going to let things go nice and easy. Plus I want to tuck some things in. Just catch a little bit here. And we'll tuck this in. I've gotten quiet. I know I'm concentrating on my flower leaf arranging here. And maybe a bit like that. So there's my thinking. And then we're going to put this here. So I want to cut that off. So I could use my scissors. Sometimes I get a little crooked with my scissors and my trimmer's right here. So why don't we just use the trimmer and get it nice and straight. And we could put this on dimensionals or leave it as is. Either way, I was going to leave it as is, but let's put it on dimensionals. So for what occasions do you make fall cards for? This one is going to be a birthday card, but do you make Thanksgiving cards? Do you make, what kind of fall cards do you make? Or do you make fall cards? Those of you who have crafted with me for a while, you know that I have a bit of a thing about leaves for some reason. I didn't realize it till I started making cards, and every other stamp set was leaves. Well, not every other, but you get the idea. So look at that. Isn't that neat? Okay, now I brought in, this would have worked with the wild wheat particularly. This ribbon is the wild wheat rustic striped ribbon. It is gorgeous. I am just loving it. Even people who don't care for wild wheat are liking this ribbon. But since we didn't use wild wheat, I'm going to bring in my favorite neutral tones linen thread. So in here we've got copper clay, garden green, and night of navy. And when I was getting ready this afternoon, I already had a double bow tied. So I think I'm just going to go with what I already had. So copper clay and Cajun craze, they really work well together. I'm just going to curl these ribbons a little bit so they're not quite so straight. And I think a couple of them could be trimmed. We'll make them, this one a little shorter and this one in between. How's that going to look? Yeah. So they're not all quite the same. They look a little more rustic, and they're stuck to my fingers. There we go. And we've got that. And I like to pull them down before I stick it down, and we'll put that right there. Ooh, I'm liking this a lot, ladies. A lot. Okay, now let's see. We need a few embellishments, right? These are called the Earth Tones Shimmer Gems. So again, we've got copper clay, very vanilla, which we've used here too, crumb cake, and garden green. So it just seemed like the perfect combo here. Some of our coppery kind of embellishments would look beautiful on here as well. Let's see, I think I'll go like that. And we'll bring another one down in here. So there we have the outside, just like that. We could have stamped a background, but I wanted to really draw attention to this. And we've got all of our two-tone stuff going on here. But on the inside, it maybe needs to be finished a little bit. So that's why we cut this. And this is going to go here, like that. Just center it. And we could bring in a stamp. Where did I put my stamps? Here they are. We could bring in one of these leaf stamps and just add that, and then we can add the greeting whenever we feel like it. Maybe we should just do that, right? So let's pick up that leaf. Okay, there we go. You know what's happened is it's losing its stickiness, and I need to wash my stamp. So how many of you know that when your photopolymer stamp is not sticking very well, that you can wash the back of it? Just put a little dab of dishwashing soap, like a drop. Here, put a drop on here, rub it in with your finger, rinse it off, and it will work like just perfectly again. And I can feel some gunk on there. So they do get a buildup of dust and things on there. So I'm just trying to see how many times I want to stamp off before I... And there we have it, just like that. And then I'll put my greeting likely in garden green or copper clay, and that will be perfect. But I'm not going to put my greeting till I go to use it. So this will go in here like that. Then this will close, and this will close, and we could always have tucked a little message here too if we wanted, right? So there you have it. There is the slimline card using changing leaves, but also using the two-toned paper, or two-tone, pardon me. I keep wanting to put a D on it. So I was just so excited that I actually put together a class in likely the fastest I've ever done. And I have a two-tone cardstock class to go. So if you are enjoying the two-tone paper, or you think you would, but you want to be able to play with it a little bit, in the class, you will get the 5 sheets. So just pretend the green is here. You will get the 5 sheets of the 6x6 of the two-tone paper. And you will also get a package of embellishments and the card and the video tutorial and the handwritten tutorial. So there you go. There's an opportunity to have some fun playing around. Now, I haven't had time to make any more cards right now that I can share with you with the two-tone paper. One of the things you'll notice, I kept this because look, I could always add another layer like that with what I've torn off, or use it on something else. So I am using it on everything. So I don't have any more of this style of card to show you, but I do have some cards that I want to show you that I have received in the mail, but I just threw them on the floor. So let's start out. So still using these same stamp set and dies that we used on this card here. This is from my friend Pam, and just look at that. Isn't that neat? She brought in flowers from another set, but basically it's the same thing that we used here, just totally different colors, so you've got a totally different feel. And then we've been talking about fall cards, and there's a set here called, it's actually a whole suite called Splendid Autumn. You have these gorgeous papers, dies, stamps, embellishments, all these great samples, and page 36 and 37 of your catalogs. And I've received a couple of swap cards, and this one is from Marilyn. She totally cased the catalog, and I love, love, love it. You give me these wheat kind of stamps, and I am a happy camper. So big thank you to Marilyn on that one. And then I received this one from Kathy Lovell. And again, she's using that great ribbon and some of the dies, and then like that. And she's used the gorgeous designer paper. So there we go. So those are 2 samples there. Yes, some of these products have been so popular that they have been out of stock. Now they're gradually coming back in, so you'll have to keep an eye, or ask me to keep an eye for you, and together we will try to catch things as they come back in stock. But definitely some gorgeous things out there. So hopefully that's helped you understand two-tone cardstock a little bit, and hopefully it's giving you some ideas of what you could do with it. So take care, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Remember, if you want any of these products, or if you have questions, just reach out. I am glad to help you. Also, you can always shop my online store. You can use that to access it. Whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook, let me know you've been here. And I'm just looking at this and noticing, I guess I spattered my sign too. So I am a little crazy when it comes to spattering. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to stamping with you again next Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.